Today, there has been a major breakthrough in a cold case murder mystery out of Northern California's Placer County. This dates all the way back to 1991. It'll be 35 years this fall since Cindy Wanner, she was a mother of two, a beloved wife, went missing in the middle of the day from her sister's home. The baby, her 11-month-old, left sitting there crying in the high chair at the kitchen table. It was such a shocking story to this community then and still is now. And today, there are finally answers in who did this to Cindy Wanner, who kidnapped her, who allegedly murdered her, and who dumped her body in the remote area of Foresthill here in Northern California. Today, authorities announced the arrest of 64-year-old James Lawhead Junior. He'd been living in Arizona, allegedly under a fake name, Vincent Reynolds, for years. Now, we don't know if he has reoffended in the time since he allegedly raped, kidnapped, and murdered Cindy Wanner, but that's something that Placer County authorities are alerting Washington State, Arizona State, and other officials in the region, places that they know he has lived since this crime took place, so that they could compare his DNA to their cold case database. I did a deeper dive on this story, digging into our archives from the 1990s and early 2000s as we followed this case. Then, here's what we learned.
Really, the case itself, this is big for the family.
It's big news and just such a big breakthrough for Placer County. After a new DNA match early this year, it was facial recognition technology that tracked Lawhead, a convicted sex offender, to a home in Bullhead, Arizona. There, he was living his life allegedly under a fake identity. Friday's arrest brings answers that have been a long time coming. And a warning, some of the details in this case may be hard to hear.
You can't put a closure to something. It's a nightmare that continues.
If they can do this, they can do it again.
But we feel the answers are there.
The big 4-0, but we still think you're wonderful and beautiful.
It was November 1991. Cindy Wanner went to clean her sister's home in Granite Bay. That afternoon, she simply vanished. Her 11-month-old daughter left behind, found hours later still in the high chair at the kitchen table. A shock to her husband.
He walked in, saw the baby crying, and said, "Where's my wife?" And we haven't seen her since.
Phil Rye is Cindy's brother-in-law, and Susan, her sister.
Her babies need their mommy back. Those babies need their mommy more than anything in the whole world. Life will not be the same without her.
After weeks of a desperate search for this missing mother,
behind the complex, it really starts to open up.
Cindy's body was found dumped in Foresthill. This hunter was the one who spotted her, left only in her underwear.
I seen her on the side of the trail, so I went back and called the authorities.
Cindy had been raped and strangled to death. But what followed were 3 decades of silence as her killer seemingly disappeared.
They can do it to others, and that's what we want to stop. They've got to be stopped.
This is one of the most heinous, notorious cold cases we have here in Placer County.
But in early 2026 came a DNA breakthrough on one final piece of evidence that was retested that led investigators to a match. Convicted sex offender James Lawhead Junior, arrested at his home in Arizona on Friday, allegedly living under a fake name, Vincent Reynolds.
Never given up on this case and continuing to leverage the emerging DNA technology as things evolve.
In 2005, Lincoln police had arrested Lawhead on a gun charge. And in 2002, Placer sheriffs arrested him for failing to register as a sex offender. That stemmed from a brutal 1980 crime where Lawhead was convicted of beating a 71-year-old grandmother inside her Sacramento home and raping her 11-year-old grandchild. He served just 11 years of a 19-year sentence. And less than 1 year after his release from prison, he's accused of killing Cindy Wanner.
The justice system here in California is broken.
Lawhead is now charged with murder, kidnapping, and special circumstances of rape. And for Placer County DA Morgan Geyer, justice delayed is not justice denied.
This family has suffered in anguish for 35 years, and they deserve some accountability.
Now, the Placer Sheriff said today that the search is now on for potentially more victims. Lawhead Junior lived in Washington, Oregon, and Arizona, and Placer investigators are alerting the agencies there to check his DNA against their cold cases. Right now, he is behind bars in Arizona, and he will be extradited back to Placer County in the near future. Now, his sister, who you see here on the left side of your screen, was also arrested. She was charged with helping him evade justice, Marley, and he actually was living in a home that she owned in Arizona, even though she had allegedly lied to police and said she had no idea where he was.
Oh my goodness. And so all of this information, a family that's been in mourning for 35 years, I just can't even imagine.
There's no closure, but there's answers, at least today.
That's the only thing, that's the only silver lining really in that. All right, Ashley, thank you.